What's good, Wizards fans? The Washington Wizards beat the Detroit Pistons 118 to 104 in Kyle Kuzma's homecoming. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
So I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. And big reason I call it Kyle Kuzma's homecoming because it is. He is from Michigan, and also the Kyle Kuzma Foundation, where the broadcast showed his mom in the shirts a lot. Where the Kyle Kuzma Foundation is a nonprofit organization that strives to positively impact the lives of single mothers and enhance the lives of their children. And Kyle Kuzma did donate $1 million to the YMCA as well. So he's done a lot of good things in the community for sure back in his hometown. So it's always good to see that from a player in Kyle Kuzma, a good guy doing that. And he came up big with 30 points in a win over we know it's the Detroit Pistons. We get it. But, win is a win is a win. And Coach Chief Keef got his first win. So, Brandon, what was your reaction to the game, and what were some reasons why the Wizards came out with the win?
Renewed energy, man. Renewed energy. This was I get it. It's against the Detroit Pistons, but you'll take a win. And especially in this type of fashion, man, good team victory. Look at that team stats. Shot 45% to their 43, 32%. We limited them to 28% from three. Rebound wise, we won the battle. The rebound, they out rebounds about one, but looking at offensive rebounds, we out rebounded them 16 to 11. More ball movement, which led to 26 assists. They got 17 turnovers, which led to 21 points off turnovers. And because we out rebounded them offensive rebounds, it led to 21 second chance points compared to their 10. So team wise, we play really good basketball. Now looking at individually, looking at the starting five, obviously the Flintstone himself, hailing out of Flintstone, Michigan. Kyle Kuzma dropping 30 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 for 27 overall, and 3 for 13. So I get it, a lot of shot volume. But look, man, back home, got the victory. So I'm not going to dampen the moment, but definitely dropping 30 points is big in this victory. Jordan Poole, 17 points, shooting 6 for 12, 3 for 6 from 3-point. So he was definitely efficient, which is always the big knock against Jordan Poole. And you see a lot more better efficiency from him. Daniel Gafford led to the rebounds, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals. And looking at Denny overall had a pretty good game. Just 10 points, but 5 rebounds, did shoot 4 for 8 for the field and 1 for 1 from 3. So he's efficient. And Tyus Jones doing what he does, man. Contributing 12 points, but 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. So his vision, man, really shined that night against the Pistons. And looking at the second unit, the bench came through in the clutch, in my opinion. Marvin Bagley Marvin Bagley the third, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. And he's been looking really good in the Wizards uniform. Corey Kispert and Bilal Coulibaly, both 8 points, but Bilal Coulibaly contributed 7 rebounds, which was big because that is one thing that we don't say a lot about Bilal Coulibaly. His ability to rebound is really impressive for a young player. So this was a good team victory, man. Overall, they played well. The energy was there. Coaching changes, man, can vary. Either you'll see renewed energy or you will see more of what led to the coach getting fired. And in this instance, Brian Keefe getting his first career victory. Definitely congrats to him. His first time head coach. And they renewed energy. They came through. And again, I get it's Detroit, but look, the NBA is a league of professionals. So, we say it in football, any given Sunday, NBA, anybody can beat anybody, man. If you look at other games, there's a few other upsets in the NBA. So anybody can win any given night. So this is a much needed victory for this team because again, a lot going on in the organization. Obviously the trade deadline's coming up. So a lot of these vets will, probably going to be on another team in about a couple of weeks. New head coach, he's interim. So he's coach of his job, obviously, because if he does well, his name could definitely be in consideration for being the head coach going forward. So a lot of people are either, playing to see what their place is in this organization going forward. They're looking for the next contract, next team. A lot of people are playing for a lot and a lot going on, but this was just much needed victory in Detroit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Chief Keef gets his first win. And like you said, we know it's the Detroit Pistons, but the Pistons have played hard as of late. Ever since that
Yeah.
27 game losing streak, they played a lot harder. They still have talent with Cade, Jalen Duren. He just had a really good game today as well, where he had 20. The Pistons just beat the OKC Thunder 120 to 104. And the OKC is the Thunder at 32-14. So, you can't just dismiss this win that the Wizards had yesterday, especially when they do things like that to a legitimate playoff team with Shea, Chat, Jalen Williams. They have a lot of good players on the Thunder. Jalen Duren had 22 points and 21 rebounds. So the Wizards aren't the only team that lets Jalen Duren get a bunch of rebounds, even though Jalen Duren ended up with 18 boards. But just looking at the team effort, man, just the defense showed up in that fourth quarter. It was huge. Like, they got a big stop. Denny made a really nice pass to Gafford. They had a couple of transition points in the fourth quarter. The second unit, Marvin Bagley was huge. His offensive rebounding. He's just been a great pickup for the Washington Wizards. His offensive rebounding, scoring in the paint, knocked down some free throws. Did miss a couple free throws here and there, but him knocking down those free throws. And then Kuzma was huge down in the fourth as well. Getting to the basket. Guys just really couldn't guard him at all. He had a nice tank. He had a nice take to the basket at a dunk versus Jaden Ivey. He had a big shot with 2 minutes left and took the lead, where we went up 111 to 101. Then Denny had the nice bounce pass to Gafford for a transition dunk. Then we took the lead 113 to 101. So Brian Keefe showed how to finish a game, where a lot of times with Wes, we just weren't able to finish games. And our largest lead was about 15 points. And those are the games that we usually find ways to lose. So that's one thing I will give Brian Keefe some credit for. And once again, I get it as the Pistons. We actually out-rebounded the Pistons 50 to 45. We actually scored more points in the paint to them against them 64 to 44. Assists, we moved the ball, 26 assists. Yes, Kuz did take some questionable shots down the stretch too. And Jordan Poole, he was big in the first half too. He had a couple plays where he scored in some isolation baskets where I thought he did a good job, and he was a little bit more under control than what he has been in the past for sure. Scoring wise, he shot 6 for 12. This is one of his better games. He was a plus 25, 17 points, and guess what? Jordan Poole had 0 turnovers. Excuse me. Tyus Jones had 9 assists. Denny had a nice play where he blocked Monte Morris, where we've seen Monte Morris talk some stuff on Twitter before. So this was the Wizards' first time playing against Monte. But and then Gafford, 15 and 13. I thought he played a tough game. This is the kind of way that we want to see him play, getting offensive rebounds, just put backs, finishing around the rim, 15 and 13. Yes, once again, Duren had 18 boards, but Gafford played his part and got a double-double. Bagley played his part, 13 points, 8 boards. And Bilal showed some flashes with 7 boards, 8 points. He had a nice stop on Cade where he made some good defensive plays here as well, 2 assists and 1 steal. Tyus had a big and 1 down the stretch where it basically was like a dagger kind of play where we haven't seen them have a dagger type of play to end the game in a long time. That's the kind of play that Tyus made there. So good win. I mean, like I said, I get it's the Pistons, but this was a good win, a much needed win. Kuzma putting up a 30 ball in his homecoming game. So they needed it. And we know a lot of people are not on right now because everybody's watching football right now, but we want to thank you guys for listening for sure. But yeah, for a game to be at 12 o'clock on a Saturday, they had to get their juices going and energy going. Yeah. I didn't even know it was at noon until really the night before. I thought it was another late game. Yeah. But I was like, Saturday at 12, oh man. And I had to watch the replay. But yeah, this was a good win. It was a good effort, good all around. Even DeLon Wright, and I'm not gonna say even DeLon Wright, but DeLon Wright came in. He had a nice fast break layup on the steal. So a good team effort, man. Good team. Corey Kispert had a couple buckets down the stretch. They didn't have a defensive belt like Wes Unseld Jr. did in the past, but I'll take it. A win is a win is a win.
Absolutely, I'll take a dub, man. Like I said, Kyle Kuzma always plays well in Detroit. Obviously, he's from Flint, Michigan, so he always plays hard against the Pistons, man. Denny, man, I felt like a lot of his passes, his vision, he shows a lot of good vision, man. And that's what depending on what direction you choose to go after the deadline as far as responsibility and fit, I do want to see the ball in his hands a lot more and definitely see what he can do with that vision after the deadline. And Gafford and Bagley, again, I know the trade deadline's coming up, a lot of names being floated, but they are an intriguing 1-2 tandem at the front court at the center position, man. They really are. I mean, the games are a little different, but I like seeing those two, man. I mean, I really do. They're a really good tandem. We both complained a lot about the lack of depth, and I still believe we need a third center, but those two, man, they are a really good tandem. 1-2 punch at the center position, man. So this is a really good team victory. I mean, we needed this victory because looking forward, we got the Spurs. I think that's a really winnable game. We played them tough and we lost late in the fourth quarter last time. So we'll see if we can get a streak going, man. See if we can sneak a win here in San Antonio because I think it's a very, very winnable game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gafford and Bagley, they combined for 11 offensive rebounds yesterday against the Pistons. So that's a lot of offensive boards against, a tough center in Jalen Duran, Isaiah Stewart. He's a strong guy and center / power forward. So those guys were battling and playing hard. So you'd love to see that any night of the week. So once again, a solid win against a young, talented team of the Detroit Pistons. But we're going to get to the Spurs preview here. But before we do that, today's episode is brought to you by, eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Happy Super Bowl to all who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W or 2 or 3. Not only can you bet on who will win the Super Bowl, 58, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers join today, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Let's visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, Brandon, what's your keys to development against the San Antonio Spurs?
Oh, easy, man. Looking at the team's stats, we are 16th in points per game. The Spurs are 23rd, man. So I definitely think this should be. We should definitely make them keep pace and score with us, man. Push pace, fluid ball movement. Definitely try to push pace in in transition, and definitely try to get their defense off balance. Another stat to look at: rebounds per game. Definitely they are 21st or 30th. So definitely, Wembanyama, man, he's one of those guys, man, where can't completely shut him down, but he's definitely a pest. But we got to win the battle of the rebounds. Like I said, this is a very winnable game in my opinion. So definitely win the battle of the rebounds. And finally, turnovers per game. They are 28th. We are 20th. So they commit a lot of turnovers. So definitely let's try to get in the passing lanes, get some intensity on defense. Definitely work on the communication on defense and getting back down the court, getting set up quicker. Definitely get ready for them because a lot of teams, they cook us in transition. So definitely getting down the court, getting set up. So those are the 3 keys to victory or development rather. And I think that is a winnable game. So I'm gonna go ahead. We haven't predicted many games, but because it is the San Antonio Spurs, I'm gonna say we win this game. I think that we're gonna get a dub in San Antonio. It's gonna be a close one, but we're gonna win.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a winnable game for sure. It's a game that they really should have won last time they played in DC. They were winning basically the majority of the game. They were up by 10 really in the fourth quarter, and they found a way to lose. Kuzma took a really, ill-advised shot down the stretch, and they came down and finished seal the game off. And then, Victor, he's going to be a tough cover, of course. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, the brother of Tyus Jones. So this is another good matchup. Like you said, points per game allowed. They're not a good defensive team at all. So this could be a track meet. This could be a game where we see 120, like in the 120s, 130s. They're 4th in pace, so they push the pace a lot. The Wizards like to push the pace a lot too. So this could be an up and down game. But they got to rebound once again. They got to defend without fouling. They got to be physical with Wemby. They got to rebound for sure. Wemby, Bagley, and Gafford as well. And shot selection is going to be key, man. They got to make smart decisions down the stretch. So I'm intrigued to see how Brian Keefe coaches this game against Greg Popovich. just finishing the game because I feel like we're gonna jump out to a lead against them. I know it's gonna be hard to win in San Antonio, even though they're not the San Antonio Spurs of old. But I feel like we're gonna jump out to a lead. It's just how we have to finish the game. So ball movement, defense, rebound, scoring in the paint, Jordan Poole being under control, getting Bilal involved as always.
Oh yeah,
and I think this is another big game for Bagley. I think I see a double-double coming up for him. I see another double-double for Bagley coming up for him. And then I don't see anybody that can really stop Kuzma on the Spurs either. So ball move is going to be huge. And like you said, getting back on defense, defending the three-point line. Even though the Spurs are not a good three-point shooting team, they're 29th in three-point shooting. Jeremy Sohan, he really hurt the Wizards last game. Look at the stats from the last game. I feel like he had like almost 30 points. He just went crazy. Excuse me, against the Wizards. Let's see, where is it at? Spurs versus 131, 127. So like I said, it's going to be a track meet again. Another high-scoring game. Sohan had 23. He had 23, and he had 23, and Wemby had 24. Trey Jones had 11 and 12 assists.
Yeah.
Vassell had 21, and Kelly Jones had 19. So, we're gonna have to really find a way to slow Sohan down and then contain Wemby's Wemby. So he's gonna get his. He's gonna get his 20 points and 8 boards. But you got to slow some of the other guys down like Sohan. You can't let Sohan go 8 for 11 again like he did last game.
Oh, absolutely not.
I would like to see Bilal against him and guard him because they're like similar frames, with height and athleticism. So I think that would be a good matchup.
Oh, same here. Something else to look at: perimeter defense and interior defense. Rotations have to get quicker because you got to be a balanced defense, man. Usually, when we win the battle of the paint, we give up defense as far as a lot of open looks on the perimeter. So having that balance is what we're looking at. Because if you look at the team, they got some shooters, man. Devin Vassell cooked us last time at Capital One, man. If you look at their bench, Doug McDermott, shooter. Keldon Johnson can definitely spread the floor. Trey Jones can shoot a little bit. I mean, Champagne, man, cooked us on the perimeter. So, I mean, you got guys who are definitely going to cook us on the perimeter, man. So definitely perimeter defense, but we've got to win the battle of the paint too. That's important because Wembanyama, are you really going to stop the guy? Nah, man. I mean, that guy's 7'5". I mean, he does whatever he wants to do. I think this is a winnable game. I really do. I think this is a big culture win, man, because they're trying to. I mean, like I said, there's a lot going on in this organization. We're close to the deadline because look, deadline is February 8th. So, moves are definitely coming. So, and definitely with the interim coach, there's a lot going on. But I think these two would be much needed victories if we get a win against the Spurs. So, I think that rotations if they just be active defensively, and I think if they're active and they get in the pass lanes, we have a chance to win this game. So, we're gonna get into comments, and I know everybody trying to watch football, man. So we're gonna get a few comments and call it a night. But before we do, tonight's episode of Locked On Wizards is brought to you by Quiiiz. Today we're gonna have some fun with y'all and test your Wizards knowledge. So we're gonna start out early, a little easy today. When was the last time the Washington Wizards won an NBA championship? So again, what year did the Washington Wizards win an NBA championship? Quiiiz with 3 eyes is the next generation trivia experience. It's also the world's first platform where you can earn money playing knowledge games. And for Locked On Wizards fans, they created an NBA quiz game where you can test your knowledge and win real cash. Play with friends or other fans and let your knowledge shine all the way to the bank. You can play without downloading anything. Just go to app.quiiiz.com and start playing today. NBA Quiz is the ultimate knowledge challenge for fans that live and breathe basketball like myself. So, everybody ready? 1978. Let that sink in a little quick. The last NBA championship was 1978. So that's the answer for today's trivia. So all you got to do is go to app.quiiiz.com to test your knowledge and win cash today. That's Quiiiz with 3 eyes, just like a 3-pointer. Play now, showcase your skills, and take home cash prizes. App.quiiiz.com, where fans become champions. All right.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys for checking in on me, guys. Excuse me. Fred Fezzo says watch the game, listen to the call. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's flu season, guys. I've had this call for for about the past couple weeks, but I'm good, guys. Thank you. Straight up, I'm good. Straight up, I'm good, man. And I'm recovering for sure. I am good. I actually played basketball yesterday at my school alumni game, so I am good. I'm good. I made it through the whole game, scored a couple points. I basically almost had a double-double. So I'm good, guys. But thank you for checking in. I'm good. All right, WizKid Forever. I see a new energy on the floor. More talking, high five, excuse me, and teamwork. A lot of missed shots, but I'll take the effort anytime. Change as a mentality. Good. Yeah, Will Dawkins said they needed a new voice. Said they needed a new voice. The defense wasn't good enough. Now, I know Brian Keith's first game, or AKA Chief Keith, his first game, Coach Chief Keith, was not good. It was a loss. We got blown out. But, the effort yesterday, you love the effort. They were getting steals, deflections, fast break points, moving the ball, finishing around the rim. Guys rotating on defense in that fourth quarter. Of course, the first half was rough. It was a bad defensive game for each team. There were 60 points given up in the first half, like 61 to 62 at halftime, which is a pretty good amount of points for one half. But yeah, I mean, you can see the energy. I think they just needed a change. They just needed to change. Sometimes it's just time for a change. Even if the team is not, we're not looking for the playoffs, they just needed a change. They needed it bad. And Keith has a good resume. Kevin Durant said some good things about him.
Oh, yeah.
You saw defensively what he did with the Lakers. They were 30th the year before he got there. And then when he got there, they went to 12th defensively with their defensive rating. So, you give him a year with the team, maybe he could transition into the full-time head coach. So I do want to see them I do want Will Dawkins to give him a fair shot. But if there are better options out there, like you said, Brandon, Mike Budenholzer, I think Sam Cassell, I think he should get a shot. I like Sam Cassell a lot. I feel like he deserves to get an interview. Kenny Atkinson from the Warriors. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of good guys that are going to be available this offseason. So, but Keith, I like what he did yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely he's got experience. He knows what he's doing. So he's definitely going to have the opportunity to showcase what he can do the rest of the year. Because, like I said, trade deadline coming up, so it's going to be a younger team after the deadline. So it's going to be intriguing to see what he does with a young roster. Another name to kind of throw out there is Juwan Howard, from current coach of the University of Michigan. Obviously, a former Washington Bullets player. There's been several people have mentioned his name. So we have a lot of options, man. Like you said, Kenny Atkinson, Sam Cassell was actually the choice of Bradley Beal. So that was a guy that Bradley Beal wanted to hire. So we got choices, man. But we got the opportunity to find the right coach to be the captain of the ship going forward, man. So there's a lot of options, a lot of opportunities for this new front office. But looking at what you're saying, new energy, man. But here's, that's the thing. We'll see how long it lasts because, like I said, a lot going on with the organization, man. I mean, the trade deadline going on. A lot of people, a lot of these vets could be on another team in a couple of weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. And also, West started out 10-3. So we all know how West started out. He started off hot, and it just went all down. It all went downhill. So we can't. It's the honeymoon phase for Brian Keith right now. So, I don't want to jump to any conclusions on him. Juwan Howard is an intriguing candidate for sure. Right now, they are 7. Michigan's they're 7-13 right now. So they won 7 games. They lost 13 last year. They were 18-16 the year before, 19-15. Yeah. And then the year before that, 23-5. The year before that, 19-12. So Juwan, he had 2 good seasons. He's had 2 good seasons so far with Michigan. They have a losing record right now. He did slap somebody in the face. Let's say it was the Wisconsin's coach. I remember that he did slap somebody in the face, but overall, he's had some good moments. Heck of a player, of course. I think he's a good basketball mind, so he's somebody to consider too. We'll see. He definitely could be up for the running as well. There's a possibility.
Oh, he's slapping folk. Hey, come on, we need some fire in the building. Come on, man.
I know. I would have loved to see him, in the locker room with Trez and those guys for sure.
That would be my only question in the interview. Did you slap somebody? Yes, sir. Yeah, come on. I'll show your office, man. So we definitely need more dogs here in DC, man.
Right.
Let's see, this is from Brandon, 1906. We will pick Sarr in the draft. This year would make a lot of sense, too. Bagley and Gafford are auditioning for backup. Sarr next year. We would trade Wright, Shamet, and Jones this deadline. Starting with Sarr. Yeah, I'll get to that. Getting the Sarr, man. That's the guy I'm targeting in the draft, man. And like I said, a lot of people are low in this draft. because it's a highly development draft. Not a lot of guys are going to be able to come in right away. And, if we pick up Sarr, I don't expect him to start right away. Now, looking at the contracts, kind of the direction this front office is going, I think the likelihood of Gafford being moved either at the deadline or offseason is very high. Because Bagley, he's got 1 year, so take 1 year, develop Sarr, and to see what we can do starting in year 2. But yeah, I think you're right on all points. Now, who's going to get traded? I mean, DeLon, to me, is 50-50. Shaman, I think, is gone. Tyus is gone. And I think right now, Kuzma, his value is at an all-time high right now. I mean, if you have a chance to move him, if the right deal's there, don't move him just to move him. But if the right deal's there, definitely move him. But if he's not, we don't have to be in a rush to move Kuzma. But I agree on all points.
Yeah, he said Bagley and Gafford audition for backup starter next year. We will trade Wright, Shemet. Yeah, I think everybody's going to be traded as far as DeLon, Shemet, and Tyus for sure. There was actually a report saying that I forgot who it came from, saying that the owners have a mandate that they have to get picks.
Yeah,
and that there is interest in Denny as well. I'm trying. I know I sent it to you.
Yeah,
on Twitter. We can talk about that more on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the potential interest in Quentin Grimes from the Knicks, and we'll probably talk about that report too. But that was from Brian Windhorst actually, so that's a legitimate source there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Saying that the Wizards have a mandate from ownership to acquire more draft picks at the trade deadline per Woj, and that Windhorst, and that Tyus Jones and Denny Avdia were two players mentioned generating interest on the market. So yes, Tyus Jones definitely is going to be gone. That's not even a question. Wright's going to be gone, and Shemet, of course, Shemet's going to be gone too. Sarr, I mean, he's an intriguing prospect too. He's a very versatile big man. He can shoot the three, he can get to the basket and all that. One of the new modern day type of big men for sure. And then Bagley and I think Gafford's going too. I think he's going. Yeah. I got to look at his contract, see how many years he has left. But if not by this deadline, then certainly in the off season, there's a couple of teams that have been calling the Wizards for him. I just want to see when the last year of his deal is. Yeah, he's a 2026 free agent, so he's still got 1 more year. He's actually got 2 more years. He's got 25 and 26, so he's got 2 years on his contract left. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of names are involved in as far as our guys, man. I mean, Tyus has been linked. Kyle Kuzma's been linked. Gafford's been linked to Dallas, New York. Obviously we're going to talk about it, but look, there's some people saying the Utah Jazz prefer Denny over Kyle Kuzma, man. So there's been a lot of buzz. Utah Jazz being interested in Denny. So we're gonna have an opportunity to really tear this roster down. Now, there are obviously some people that I like to see stay. I mean, Bilal obviously is an untouchable. Kispert, you haven't seen too much of buzz with him, but every team needs a shooter. So I definitely see him being a piece to stay. Denny, I'm 50-50 on him being moved. With his age, I don't see the rush moving Denny because he's still young, still needs to be he still needs to develop further. So I think that he could stay. But I mean, look, money talks. So I mean, Utah brings a package good enough, man. I mean, the Wizards would be fools not to say yes. So this is going to be a lot of moving pieces, a lot of new prospects coming in. Obviously, ownership, they definitely want picks, a lot more picks, and they're not really cool with the 2024 draft. So you definitely 2025, 2026 are going to be the draft pick years. They're going to be looking at them trying to get picks for. But I think the biggest thing, man, is we have options. We haven't had options, man. This time last year, we will start talking about Bradley Beal's contract. Now, that's somebody else's problem right now. So we have a lot of cap room going forward, man. We have a lot of capabilities. We just have to kind of rearrange things now. Obviously, we still have questions after the deadline. Long term, what is Jordan Poole's place in his organization? But that, we got plenty of time and episodes for that. So biggest thing is we have a lot of options. So
right, 110%. So last comment here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Armand says hi immediately. Excuse me. Edward Moore, the stat about Jordan Poole's defensive players don't shoot well and turn the ball over when guarded by him. I'm not saying he's guarding the best player, but it's a good sign. Yeah, I haven't seen that stat, but I would love to see it, man. If you want to send it to us on Twitter or something like that, I mean, definitely do that. I want to see it and talk about it for sure. I know a lot of people give Jordan Poole a hard time, especially about his plus minus. That he historically has one of the worst plus minus. I know some people don't believe in that stat anyway, but no, I would love to see that. I want to see anything positive about Jordan Poole. I would love to see it. Armand says hire Juwan Howard immediately. We need a coach willing to slide people around. So yeah, I mean,
Oh, Lord.
I don't condone violence and stuff like that, but I think Juwan Howard would definitely get guys straight for sure. Juwan Howard, he wouldn't be my first option, but
Yeah.
I think he would be somebody to consider. Just has to keep his temper and emotions, of course, with the slap, and he had the one good season where they did go to the Elite Eight. Onion 77 says Mark Jackson, so we'll see about that. Mark Jackson retirement, but there's a couple names that you can throw out there for sure, and then there's a couple names you can throw out there for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of names out there, man. But like I said, man, we have options. We have not always had options. So, my number one is obviously Budenholzer, man. I think if you definitely swing high, you swing for Budenholzer, man, because he helped build the Atlanta Hawks team, and accountability and defense are prioritized. I think that's what this team needs, man. Somebody's going to hold people to a standard. So, yeah, this new front office, man, I'm definitely swinging for the fences for the next head coach. But who knows, man? Brian Keefe has experience. I mean, he has. When you got KD saying, I owe a lot to this guy. What's that tell you? Because KD's a Hall of Fame guy, man. I mean, he's for most people, if not, there's something wrong with you. He's definitely a Hall of Fame player. So for him to say that says a lot. So I think he's got the opportunity to showcase what he can do, and who knows, he could be the next head coach. So we'll see. But there's definitely brighter times ahead for this team, in my opinion. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But we're gonna wrap it up. We want to thank you guys for listening, especially on a football championship Sunday. The Ravens, unfortunately, they went out with a loss. I thought they played hard, but like I said, we're Commanders fans, so it didn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
And the Lions are beating up on the Niners right now, 24-7.
Yes.
So it looks like it's going to be possibly a Chiefs and Lions Super Bowl. So hopefully the Commanders can get somewhere near that next year, and we'll see what happens with their coaching situation as well. I just want to thank you guys for listening. Making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Make sure you guys check us out. We'll be recapping a game on Monday against the Spurs. Hit that notification bell, hit that like button as well. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.